Don't forget to like and subscribe.
One night, a young girl named Ellen weeps and prays for solace for anyone or anything to ease her loneliness. Her plea is answered by a mysterious creature who attacks her and leaves her convulsing in a seizure. Years later, in the winter of 1838, Ellen lives in the town of Wisborg, Germany, with her husband, Thomas Hutter, a solicitor and estate agent. Hoping to achieve financial security, Thomas accepts a commission from his employer, Hernack, to sell Schloss Gr. Newald, a decrepit stately home in Wisborg, to the reclusive and eccentric Count Orlok. Ellen becomes fearful and asks Thomas to stay with her, confessing that before their wedding, she dreamed she married Death himself, with only corpses in attendance, and found herself enjoying it. He dismisses her fears and departs for Orlok's castle in Transylvania's Carpathian Mountains, leaving her in the care of a wealthy friend, Friedrich Harding, and his wife Anna and their young daughters. Upon arriving in Transylvania, Thomas is shunned by the local Romani peasantry for associating with Orlok. That night, he witnesses them impaling what they claim is a vampire's corpse with an iron stake. The corpse jolts in pain and vomits blood. The next morning he finds the village has been deserted. Arriving to the castle late that evening, Thomas is greeted by the impatient and menacing Orlok, who dines with him and insists on finalizing the purchase of Schloss Gr. Newald immediately. Orlok disregards Thomas's inquiry about the villagers and what he witnessed, and when Thomas cuts his thumb on a bread knife, Orlok mesmerizes him and drinks his blood, revealing himself to be a vampire. The next night, Orlok takes Thomas's locket, which contains a lock of Ellen's hair, and has him sign a mysterious document written in an occult script. Haunted by nightmares, a weakened and feverish Thomas demands to return home, but Orlok insists he stay until he is no longer ill. Later, Thomas finds Orlok sleeping in his coffin and attempts to kill him with a pick, but the Count awakens and attacks Thomas, feeding on his blood and leaving him for dead. The next morning, fleeing Orlok's wolves, Thomas falls from a window into a river while escaping. He is found and nursed back to health by Orthodox nuns at a nearby church, who urge him to stay and recover, but he rushes back to Wisborg to protect Ellen. Meanwhile, Orlok sails for Wisborg with a crate of his grave dirt to sustain him and plague-infested rats, killing the ship's crew along the way. Back in Wisborg, Ellen suffers from bouts of sleepwalking and seizures, which Wilhelm Sievers, her doctor, struggles to treat. As her condition worsens, Sievers consults his mentor, Alban Eberhard von Franz, a brilliant scientist ostracized in Switzerland for his occult beliefs. Von Franz deduces that Ellen is under the spell of the Nosferatu, a demonic, plague-bearing vampire. Friedrich remains skeptical, believing her symptoms stem from anxiety over Thomas's absence. Meanwhile, Knock is institutionalized after a gleeful rampage, and both he and Ellen prophesize Orlok's impending arrival. Sievers and von Franz realize the two are influenced by the same malevolent spirit. Searching Knock's office, they discover that Orlok is the Nosferatu. Thomas returns to Wisborg as Orlok's arrival brings the plague. Knock escapes custody, kills a porter, and escorts Orlok to Schloss Gr. Newald. Orlok appears to Ellen in a dream, taunting her by claiming he tricked Thomas into signing divorce papers. He warns her that she must approve the divorce within 2 nights and reaffirm the pact she made when she summoned him as a child, or he will kill Thomas and let the plague consume Wisborg. Thomas learns of Ellen's past occurrence with Orlok, and after she suffers another seizure, they have sex. Orlok witnesses them and brutally murders Anna and her children to demonstrate his power. Von Franz from his occult research theorizes that the Nosferatu can only truly be destroyed through the willing sacrifice of a fair maiden, and he and Ellen hatch a plan to trap Orlok and keep Thomas diverted, as she chooses to sacrifice herself to save the city. Later, a grief-stricken Friedrich dies of the plague while committing necrophilia with his wife's corpse. Upon finding Friedrich's body, Sievers, Thomas, and von Franz proceed to burn the family mausoleum. Von Franz rallies Thomas and Sievers to destroy Orlok's resting place at Schloss Gr. Newald as a distraction, whilst Ellen psychically summons Orlok to her chamber. The three men unexpectedly find Knock in Orlok's coffin and kill him. Von Franz proceeds to burn the crypt. However, Thomas realizes the expedition was a diversion and rushes back to save Ellen. She allows Orlok to feast on her blood while they have sex until sunrise, at which point the sunlight causes Orlok to shrivel up and perish, reverting to an inanimate corpse.
Thomas bursts into the bedroom and holds Ellen's hand as she dies, having brought an end to Orlok and the plague.